That we can take away from the video. One is the idea or the need to check your source. Do not spread lies. At the end of the day, fake news is about lies, and you have to check your source. That is fundamental. And of course, recheck it and make sure that you are getting your credible information from organizations, in this case, like ours, where we do our job every day to make sure that what we put on the screen is actual real news. Anyway, to talk about this, we have here in our studio Israel Reyes. He is a cybersecurity expert. Israel, good morning. How are you?
Very good morning. Thank you very much for the invite. I'm very happy to be here with you and your audience.
So talk to us. What we saw at the beginning of this piece was what's called a deep fake, right? Which is this video which takes images from a real person, in this case Barack Obama, and puts words into his mouth, that is lies. Talk to us about how that is developing and if we're starting to see that being used.
Yeah, well, it is a really concern because the technology has advanced so much, like artificial intelligence and self-learning machine algorithms that make all this possible. So deepfakes is the next generation of fake news, where it will be used for a psychological operation in social media to create a mind hacking, human mind hacking, or hijack the social media. And through that technique of cyber weapon, because it's considered a cyber weapon, offensive, it can produce a disstability and political unrest in any society.
Right.
So what they use...
The way to combat this is to make sure that you're getting your news from sources that are credible. And of course, government needs to do its job. One of the things that we saw in the video that we just did on and during our report was the fact that government isn't doing its job in terms of controlling this. Is there something we can do?
Yes, of course. We need to do legislation, because if we don't regulate the use of artificial intelligence and we start to use artificial intelligence to do cyber weapons, you can imagine that this will be a disaster. So how we live right now in the 21st century is completely different how do we live in the 20th and the 19th century.
Okay.
Technology has changed everything. Now, in a deepfakes, there is very possible to create a video not only saying things that you never said, but also be in a context that you never been. It can be a pornography or it can be something which is completely damaging for your reputation.
Right. So I was
credibility.
seeing that there are actually pornography videos where like famous actors and political figures are you can't tell that it is not them doing that.
Exactly. But imagine this in a warfare 5.0. If a deep fake, a fake video goes like United States will send a nuclear weapon to a country, it goes to the internet and it viralizes and go to a lot of people, possibly the country will expect that this is real and can counterattack, and is where we say the fiction becomes reality. So here we need as a government to regulate, and there is a need to create a cyber security intelligence agency, or the National Cybersecurity Agency.
Is anybody doing this correctly?
Well, right now, I can tell you that Russia, China, and United States are taking this problem very serious. Unfortunately, in Mexico and Latin America, we are not doing nothing about it. The problem that we have right now with the immigrants going from Guatemala through Mexico to United States, that is the same modus operandi of disinformation, manipulation, and mobilization. That can create to close the border with United States, because it starts with chatbots, with fake news, telling to the people to go to this via, which is completely fake. And that will be the Mexit, not the Brexit, but the Mexit.
Wow. Israel Reyes, expert on cybersecurity, thank you very much for being here with us. We're going to be giving follow-up to this issue as it develops. And now we're going on to real news, fortunately, although sometimes it looks a little bit fake. Donald Trump still insists that there's a national emergency at the southern border as he visits